Okay, tomorrow we'll be heading way up there to get to the top of Mount Whitney. Let's hope the weather is good. The forecast is a bit, says there might be some rain. Hopefully it's more in the afternoon and we'll be good to go. This is actually a pretty cool drive. Now they're up a little bit higher into the mountains. Pretty small road, but pretty cool little area. We'll be sleeping for the night in the car so we can get up at 2 a.m. to start our hike. So, sleeping in the back of the car for tonight. So a little cramped, but we have I have like a sleeping bag and a couple blankets on the floor, so I think we'll be okay. It's pretty early. It's like 7 o'clock, but we gotta wake up by 1 to be able to hike at 2. So we're gonna try to go to bed. Almost 2, so almost ready to go. I got like 2 to 3 hours of sleep because it was so warm last night and humid. But this morning we did see a bear right next to the cars, right next to my car actually. These are bear bins. All the food goes in there. So when they start hearing them open and close, they start to come out to play. Also, I was using these little bathrooms earlier. It's like at 1:30. There was a bat in here flying around. It scared the hell out of me. So we started our hike at about 2:15 a.m. So it was obviously very dark, as you can see by this video here. And then early on in the hike, while it's still dark, there's quite a few stream crossings, such as these next few.
That's not the worst of the stream crossings at all. I can't wait to log those. Did I send you guys any videos of that? No. Oh, okay, yeah.
It was pretty cloudy most of the morning since there was some, a little bit of sprinkling and everything, but we got a great shot of the moon and it was pretty dark up until started getting closer to trail camp when the sun started to rise, and we got some really cool videos and pictures, kind of everything lighting up and shining on the rocks, which looked really cool. Once we got to trail camp, this is where we filtered our water and took a rest. We actually rested a little bit longer than we wanted to, which lasted about 45 minutes to an hour, but it was great. Just take a little rest since we were hiking at a pretty good pace. And then on the way up to the 99 switchbacks, we found this little guy, which is a marmot. He was just kind of hanging out there. So we've got a few pictures of him, posed for the camera a little bit, and then continued on the switchbacks. Coming up here, we have the kind of like the cables there. A lot of people make them sound a lot more interesting than they are, but if there's no snow on them, it's not too dangerous, and it's just kind of walking up the rest of the 99 switchbacks just as regular, but there's these cables on the side which help a little bit more if there's a lot of snow, I'm told, but since there was no snow, it wasn't too big of an issue. The switchbacks were pretty tiring considering we only took one rest out of all 99 switchbacks until we got to the end of it, which led you into Sequoia National Park, which was one of my favorite parts of it. As you go on the back side of the mountain, the wind is blocked from the mountain, which was nice, and considering there was quite a bit of wind, and also had some of the best views in my opinion, such as this shot here, which has all those lakes in the background. I saw repeatedly that everyone says that once you get to this sign, it is the longest 1.9 miles of your life, and they are by far correct. It was 1.9 miles that I thought would never end, but it was definitely worth it to get to the top. And here was the hut at the top. No, 11 miles, 8 hours we did it. Probably the hardest thing physically and mentally that I've ever done. That was intense. The guys that I came with kept me going. I'll have some videos and pictures for you guys, but I still have 11 miles back down, but it is freaking cold up here, and it is windy. I'm actually standing behind a little hut here, so I'll walk out, not in the hut, and see how windy it really is. That's not too bad. As you can hear in a lot of the videos, it is super windy. You can see the clouds, so the views weren't that great, as the clouds kind of stayed up there the whole time that we were up there for about 30 minutes or so. It was really cold, and the gusts of wind were pretty intense. My hat kept flying off, but it was, once you got back down on that side of the ridge where it was blocking, it was much nicer as the wind died down and it wasn't nearly as cold. Camp, so we're almost done. Got about 6 miles left to get out of here, but we're making pretty good time, so we're gonna filter some water before we head out. This is what you have to carry when you can't poop in a full squat. And now it's raining. Gosh, this would be fun to get out of here, but like 5-6 miles left. The nice part about this hike is you start so early. The last 6 miles you did in the dark is now almost like a new hike on the way down. So we saw a waterfall. We're going to go through some meadows soon. There's just a lot more trees in nature since you're below the tree line at this point. So here's a really nice meadow that you walk through that has a little stream running through it. Just very nice and peaceful as you're walking through it. And then there's these massive rocks on each side of you, which is kind of cool to see how massive they can be. It rained off and on from trail camp, so for the last 6 miles, but about the last hour and a half or so, it rained about the whole time that we were there. So we ended up getting drenched, but it was a totally great experience, even with the rain. So we finished, but the last 6 miles was all basically in the rain, and it's not sprinkling. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's raining pretty good. So I am drenched, soaked. That last 6 miles was actually pretty miserable, but we made it. I didn't get as much videos going down as I wanted to just because it was raining. But overall, great experience. Definitely the hardest thing that I've ever done physically, especially with hiking. Would I do it again? It's a long, difficult hike, so we'll see.